Today, folks, we're taking a look at Farming Simulator Signature Edition for Nintendo Switch 2. That's right, your favorite farming simulator game is now available for the Nintendo Switch 2. This video was sponsored by the game, as the simulator category of games continues to be popular. I grew up and really continue to live in rural Wisconsin, and I only have to drive literally a few blocks before running into farms, be it corn, horses, pigs, cows, chickens, and so much more. I grew up in a very farm-heavy state in America. There are 25 crops to cultivate, grow, and sell in the game, including wheat, corn, soybeans, cotton, spinach, and so much more. But that's not all though, as farming isn't just about crops that grow from the ground. What about animal farms? This game has you covered here too, offering water buffaloes, sheep, goats, cows, chickens, pigs, horses, and more. In fact, I believe truly opening you up to the farming world. There are over 400 plus different machines, tractors, etc. from 150 real brands that you can find on farms near you today. What's really interesting is the game has sold more than 4 million copies worldwide across all platforms, and adding Switch 2 is just another go-to platform, especially for on-the-go while gaming, and really seems like a no-brainer. Or heck, maybe you're just a kid who's a little too young to start working the fields on your family farm, but they let you ride shotgun in the tractors while your parents, grandparents, or whoever are tending to the fields. Well, hey, you can pretend you're actually helping with the real-life field by playing Farming Simulator right there. Pretty fun indeed. Now, I didn't grow up on a farm, so I'm not quite sure what my desires would be in such a situation, but based on, the fact that I grew up with like a parent working at a pizza joint, there was a period of my life I grew up and wanted to be a pizza maestro. That said, in this game, you take control of your own farm, which exists in a fairly realistic open world setting where you can go ahead and build an agricultural empire. You can master machine operations, animal husbandry, forestry even, and yes, even more than that. The game is actually available at select retailers such as Amazon, Walmart, Target, GameStop, and Best Buy for the price of $59.99. Okay, so that's all great, I suppose, but what's the game actually like to play? Well, I thought we would never really get there, because for starters, no, I want to just tell you right now, this is not a review. If you're looking for one of those, I would suggest looking up the copious amounts of independent reviews for this game if that's what you're actually trying to get. After all, this is sponsored, so I'm just here to have fun, not dive into all the nitty-gritty details. That said, the game does offer a fairly in-depth tutorial that if you're a first-time player, I highly suggest you check out. What I play the most is career mode, where you basically are free to create an epic empire across 3 different locations. With that, you get to farming. Well, kind of. You actually get to create your own character, and there's actually a surprising amount of customizations you can do to that character for a game that's mostly first person, and you don't really get to look at yourself too much. But that being said, we need to get to farming. No, I actually mean that seriously. It's a farming simulator after all. If you have ever been to or even worked on a farm, you'll recognize all the classic tasks like the chores, the animal husbandry, tilling fields, harvesting, and more help. Want to milk some cows maybe? Hiring help, you can give the help the tasks, and you have to sell your produce. Oh, by the way, what about buying new farm equipment? There's a lot packed in here that is sure to please many farming enthusiasts out there. Are you a retired farmer? Hey, this seems like a great way to reconnect with your former passion. Look, games like this are a bit hard for me to personally talk about. And I say this because of the kind of game it is. It's a simulator game. And in this case, I'm just farming. Farming has a lot of tasks and nuances and more attached to it. But everything you do in this is basically describing how to run a farm in real life. Just without all the physical labor associated and more just the mental management of it all. See, crops have to be planted and harvested at different times of the year. Fields have to be rotated eventually to replenish nutrients, and equipment needs to be managed and bought as you expand your empire. You need to form relationships with shops and places which want to buy your goods, and you have to create competitive structures with what you're willing to and not willing to sell your goods for. You also have to learn how to handle such a vast variety of vehicles because, frankly, none of them control exactly the same. Just like they in real life. One tractor can feel totally different in how it handles from another. And yes, learning how to handle them matters, or you can find yourself right into a ditch. Okay, I didn't actually mean to show this, and I didn't know this could happen until it did, but it can. And this came because I was too confident and turned too harshly at too high of a speed. Again, this game is extremely realistic with how these tractors handle, so you need to learn how to handle them or you'll end up in a situation just like that one. And that said, it's actually part of the game's charm. After the tutorial, the game mostly will stop holding your hand and let you figure things out as you go, though you'll run into some NPCs and other things that will help guide you a little as you are learning the ropes. Plus, once you're super successful, you'll have most of the farm running like a well-oiled machine with hired help, allowing you to focus on what the next steps are to expand your empire. And, well, farm away. Honestly, the only thing missing when I play this are the smells. Yes, the ones that permeate the air as I drive with my windows down to the Wisconsin countryside in the summer. Or visit a chicken farm with my kids. Check out Farming Simulator Signature Edition for Nintendo Switch 2 right now, today, through the links in the description.